The rate of Alberta's population growth has created a bit of a balancing act for communities. More people means more infrastructure and services. Think roads, hockey rinks, bridges. Doing all that takes money. Let's look at what this means for communities.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. There's a few analogies out there. I mean, you're trying to build the airplane while you're flying.
In a decade, Cochrane's population has doubled. In the last 5, it's grown at a rate that's faster than Calgary.
When I talk about population growth, it's all relative. When you say you've doubled in size and that means adding 20,000 people, say in a decade, that might not affect a community such as Calgary that has services and infrastructure in place to absorb that population without really changing. I mean, we've seen lineups of traffic up our Cochrane Hill, out of the valley in all 4 directions. School populations and classroom sizes. Rec center with ice surfaces and pool capacities at maximum. It's across every need. Seniors, senior center, housing, all of it, library. I could go on.
For the town of Cochrane, part of the solution is to lean on developers to pay into offsite levies, funds that help pay for infrastructure and services needed when a new community comes online.
We have done our own 1A widening project that was a provincial highway, and we used grants and offsite levies where the development industry has helped us with that. We've been building our own bridges. We opened a bridge a few years ago, $53 million investment in just moving people across the Bow River. And wastewater. We've got a massive pipeline twinning that we're going all the way to the city of Calgary with. Wastewater is one, and then water treatment is another. So these types of facilities, we're trying to find innovative ways to pass the growth pressures on to future residents rather than having existing residents foot the bill for that.
Many communities in the province are facing similar hurdles. They want to keep growing, but they have limited ways to raise the cash to do it. And what Cochrane is doing doesn't come without its risks. The mayor says it requires balancing the need for more growth without becoming dependent on building out.
If we're looking at property taxes that are going to be seen through that growth, it'll take decades to be able to come back and be able to recoup those costs that the municipality is taking on. We're definitely not seeing the needs being met through the local government fiscal framework. We're about $1 billion a year short to address the infrastructure needs that we have in our communities. We've got a $30 billion and growing infrastructure deficit across the province. And the little over $800 million a year that we're seeing through that LGFF funding just isn't enough.
In Okotoks, the town has seen growth price people out.
We've got a large contingency of our community that work in retail or in service industry, and the housing here is becoming out of their price points.
The Alberta government recently announced the details of a new grant program for mid-sized and smaller communities to offset some of the costs these communities are experiencing. Thorne says she appreciates the province's stepping up, but that this is a drop in the bucket with about $20 million up for grabs this year.
This isn't going to address all the issues, but I think that opens up the need for a broader conversation. How do we fund infrastructure in municipalities, particularly growing municipalities?
In the past year, about 200,000 people have moved to Alberta. Helen Pike, CBC News, Calgary.